Ms. Cafferata, whenever you're ready.
Good morning, Senator Cannizzaro, members of the committee. My name is Elisa Cafferata. I'm here on behalf of the Nevada Technology Association and not going to be nearly as entertaining or as engaging as the testimony in Las Vegas. However, just wanted to raise a few points. One is, in some ways, this is the worst time of the session because you find out all the things you missed and didn't get to talk to the sponsor. So I did have a chance to talk to the sponsor this morning, but I had not been aware that he had added a prohibition against voluntary microchipping, and that's I should have had more due diligence on that. So first of all, I want to state categorically that we absolutely agree that there should be a prohibition against involuntary microchipping. And we do agree that there are lots of corporate situations that might be particularly fraught with really getting to the heart of whether someone has fully informed consent to a microchip for a certain situation. Although, as Mrs. Hansen testified, corporations are offering discounts for technology. It's already part of the business model that we have, but I do agree this goes further. So I think that definitely that part of the bill is important and should remain. But all of the states that have laws prohibiting involuntary microchipping allow people to voluntarily microchip themselves. No other state has looked at a full-on prohibition. And if you just read the plain language of the bill, and again, I'm not an attorney, but the way I read it is Chapter 200 says any person shall not, and if you go to C, participate in a program established by any other person. So to me, as a non-lawyer, that reads in plain English that if you went to a state that, like California or North Dakota, where they've said, yes, you can voluntarily microchip yourself, you go get a microchip in North Dakota, you come back here, you're still participating because you still have the microchip. Now are you guilty of a Class C felony? It's not clear from this law that would be exempt. So just a couple of examples in it. These were amazing examples. This is very common technology in Europe. There's a whole sort of culture of biohackers, not only unlocking doors, but you can use it in certain settings to pay for things. A lot of VIP beaches and spas and clubs in Europe have this technology for their VIP members. Because if you're at the beach, you don't want to be leaving your wallet in your towel when you go into the ocean, but you want to be able to come back out and pay for your drinks. And that's how the VIP members in these spas and beaches in Europe do it. Gyms in many countries use this to easily access and pay for membership features. So while many of us probably can't imagine doing this, it's actually quite common around the globe. So again, we absolutely understand and think that we need to address the concerns and the questions about the long-term health implications, which I don't think the studies are really conclusive. There are studies on both sides of that issue, so we certainly continue with those studies. Privacy certainly needs to be discussed. But I think we do need to look at sort of the broadly sweeping prohibitions here. The other plain reading of this bill would be, say you had a bunch of athletes who wanted to get implants for training, monitoring, and advice. Based on this bill, no local jurisdiction could create a program that would put in place safe regulations for implanting a whole, team or a whole, group of athletes who voluntarily wanted to get microchips. They would have to do it themselves. So you're taking away the ability to have safe regulations in any case. The description that Assemblyman Daley gave of the carve-outs really does put a damper on this technology. So if every single casino, club, athletic team, you just start going down the list, had to come to you every 2 years to get a whole list of exemptions, that would be a lot of time you are spending on microchip exceptions, I believe. And the idea that you could prohibit apps from other states, I think also is incredibly problematic to prohibit apps by state. So I just think that if we narrowed it back down to the original language, which focused on involuntary or corporate microchipping, which is extremely problematic and does need to be, I think, analyzed deeply, I think then we could be supportive, but the sort of blanket prohibitions on voluntary microchipping, I think, go too far, and we would be happy to work with the Assemblyman on an amendment if the ACLU is pursuing that to make sure that people can do this voluntarily if they wish. Thank you.